There was a walkthrough of how to specify and analyze linear regressions using Microsoft Excel. First of all, we'll want the data analysis add-in. You can see that I have the add-in tab here installed, but in general, you can add add-ins from the file menu to options, then down to add-ins, and then we want to manage our Microsoft Excel add-ins at the bottom and make sure that we have the analysis tool pack installed. If you don't have that installed, there's guides out there on how you can get the analysis tool pack installed and available. For this class, we've already used the solver add-in, and so it should hopefully be there as an option as well. So first, let's start with the pork supply data. The task here is we have data monthly going back to 1975 all the way up here until it looks like December 2018. And what we want to do is create a regression where the outcome variable is pork production or quantity supplied of pork in the present period. And then as uh, X variables as our independent variables, we have pork production, pork price, real corn price, and real soybean price. So the first thing that we always kind of want to do when we see some data is to create some summary statistics for it. And so one thing that we can do here is we can come over, create a new sheet. Let's call this our summary statistics. And then we can use our data analysis pack to go to data, data analysis, descriptive statistics, and then using our labels in the first row, let's input the range of all of our data that we have here, pork production, all the way through our soybean price. Let's get all of our data there. We want summary statistics, so let's check this box. And for the output range, let's put it over here on our new summary statistics sheet. Right, so that creates a summary statistic. We have our pork production, so we can see things like our mean. We might be interested in standard deviation. A lot of the times in data papers, we'll present minimum and maximum. And then if looking across all of our variables, if the counts are different, if we're missing some data, we might be interested in seeing why that is. Or if something looks off about our minimum maximum range, then we might be interested in looking back at the data and seeing what's going on there. Right, so there's our supply summary statistics, and if you were writing a data paper or something like that, you would clean it up a little bit more, but that's just how you generate that and look at it. Here, this data has been pre-prepared for the class, and so we don't need to spend too much time verifying that it's already been cleaned and it meets our expectations about data quality because this is sample data created here. If you're a data analyst, those are just kind of tools that you want to be able to look at and see. Also not pictured in this video, but you might want to be able to create a histogram. So suppose that we took our pork production column and then we go over to our insert charts. One of them is a statistic chart here, or we can do a scatter plot. And this would help us look at the distribution of our data to make sure that it is, if we're using the ordinary least squares strategy, normally distributed to meet the assumptions of that model. If it wasn't normally distributed, we might want to use a different model. But again, this data has been created for the class, or rather, it's not created data, but it's from the textbook to illustrate for the class, and so we know that it's in pretty good condition. So next, what we do is finally run our regression. We can go to data, data analysis. We can go down here to regression. And then for our outcome variable, our y, we had pork production. So again, let's highlight that all the way down. And then for our X range, we are using the columns C through F. So we could just go ahead and select all that data. Or we also know that we're using C starting at 5, like our first column, to F, and it goes down to 533, right? So now we've selected our dependent variable, Y, which is pork production in the current period, and we have our explanatory independent variables, X, which are last year's production, pork price, corn price, and soybean price. We've included labels in our data, so we select this, and we want to include a constant in our model, so we do not select this option. Finally, let's just pick a place off to the side here to put this. Box will be fine. And that's all we need. So I will post then a separate video now that we've done this on how to interpret.